Welcome everyone, and welcome to another Freebie Friday. This is Rob C. Hinds, and I'm coming at you now with the penultimate Freebie Friday of the year, and also the last Freebie Friday before the festive holiday. So this one's going to be a little bit longer than usual, just because we've got a special Freebie Friday here. But what I'm going to be talking to you about this week is something which is huge in the personal development world. It's huge if you want to be able to develop yourself, so you've really got to start to understand this idea. Now, this is called the 7 levels of awareness. I'm just going to show you this diagram. The 7 levels of awareness. You can see there you've got animal, mass, aspiration, individual, discipline, experience, and mastery. Now, I'm going to include this PDF with this Freebie Friday. So if you just look below, you'll see a little PDF sign, and then you can click that, and then you can print this up. And I do suggest that you print this up, you put it somewhere where you can see it, and then just constantly be looking at these 7 levels to just see where you're radiating around. You're going to change between different levels, but if you can become really aware of this, this is going to help you to be able to develop yourself, especially as we're coming into 2015. Now, everybody knows that personal development is about awareness. It's about bringing more awareness to your consciousness. And as you can do that, you will start to see some remarkable things happen. Your attitude will change, your mindset, which is your attitude, that will really start to attune, and you will really start to hone in on what it is that you've specified as your definite major purpose. Whether it's your goal for 2015, whether it's you're looking for your life partner, whatever it is that you've determined, that you've clearly identified as your definite major purpose. As you start to increase your awareness, you're going to start to be able to see things which you probably didn't see before, which are now starting to attune themselves to your frequency and the frequency of what it is that you desire. So just starting to look through this model, I'm just going to now start to take you through this. Now, you've got the first one there, which is animal. Now, a lot of people are coming from the animal level of awareness. Now, just to say, there's a lot of different levels of awareness, but I'm just going to break it down into these 7 major levels. Now, the animal level of awareness is when, if a situation happens to you, most people who are going to be coming from this level of awareness, what they do is they react. They don't think about what it is that they're saying or what they're doing. They just literally react to the situation. Now, in contrast to that, you want to learn to be able to respond. You want to be able to stop, to think, and then to do the action. If you're coming from the animal level of awareness, what you're usually going to do is you're going to shoot from the hip. There's going to be some reaction, and then you're going to regret what you've said or what you've done in a couple of hours or maybe the next day. So when you're coming from that level of awareness, which is the lowest level, you really can do damage to yourself and damage to others. Now, when you look at the next level, it's mass. Now, this is what the majority of the population are coming from. The majority of the planet are operating on this mass level of awareness. Now, the mass is just people want to stay together. They're coming from a group paradigm. They're coming from a group culture, and they don't want to do anything which is going to make them stand out. They want to be doing the same thing what the neighbors are doing. They want to be doing what their friends are doing. They want to be doing what their peers are doing. They don't want to be able to stand out. They don't want to wear different trainers. They don't want to dress up in a suit if all their friends are wearing t-shirts and trainers. You know, they don't want to be reading out of the field what they think they should be reading in, and they just want to act like everybody else. Now, I remember Earl Nightingale said once, and my dad also said this to me, that if you've got 10 people and 9 people are going one direction and 1 person is going the other direction, you want to follow the one who's going on his own or her own, because all the others are usually just going to the slaughter. So just if anybody who's coming from that level, you're really starting to follow the masses. Now, the next level, the third level, is aspiration. And this is where you start to hear and you start to feel that there is something slightly different. You're starting to aspire to something. You're then starting to hear there's a slight calling. You either feel the calling or you can hear a calling. And then you start to think, okay, maybe there is something different. I do want to do something different. I don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing. I do want to be earning a little bit more money. I do want to be maybe not building somebody else's dream. I want to be building my dream now. So you then start to aspire to do something. That's the third level of awareness, the aspiration. Then what you're doing is you're moving up to the gearing yourself up, and you're coming up to the 4th level now, which is individuality. You've got the individual level of awareness. Now, the individual level of awareness is when you're really now starting to crank things up and you're starting to realize that you are unique. There are 7 billion people on this planet and everybody has something that not everybody else can do. And you've just got to discover, what is your uniqueness? What is it that you can do better than everybody else? Now, that may not come to you immediately. It may not come to you in a couple of weeks, couple of months, maybe even a couple of years. But you just start to realize that there is something different. There is a uniqueness around you. You realize there's a connectivity between everybody, but now you're really starting to listen to that voice which has told you to aspire to more. And you're now starting to understand that you are an individual in this whole world of all these different people. There's something that you can do which is different to everybody else. Then you're moving up to the 5th level now. So now you're really starting to pick up speed. Now the 5th level is discipline. Now the definition of discipline is to give yourself a command and follow it through to completion. Give yourself a command and follow it through to completion. Now you will see that so many people do not do this. They give themselves a command, but they never follow it through. Sometimes because they don't have the attention span, sometimes because they don't have the focus. They may see something else which comes along, something bright and shiny, which takes their attention, and then they go for that. But once you start to get into the level of awareness, which is discipline, you will start to be able to give yourself a command and follow it through to completion. And if you can do that, you're really now starting to use that internal power you've got, and you're starting to now motor at a really good speed. Now, the next level of awareness, once you started to get that discipline, you start to get that commitment, and you're really starting to follow what it is that you're doing, following your passions, following your heart, then you're going to be moving up to the next level, which is experience. Now, experience, as you get to that level, you're going to now know the process. You're going to now know this creative process. You're going to know that you had to then define what it was that you want. You've had to build that image. You've had to get the right people around you. You've had to become disciplined. And as you become disciplined, you do the actions, you get results from those actions, and then you can then monitor what those results are, and you can change your thoughts, which will then change your actions. And as you start to get more and more experience in this, this is when you then start to really get into that level of awareness. You're really starting to get an understanding of who you are and how this creative process works. And then as you do that, you are really then starting to get into top gear where you're aiming for mastery. Now, mastery, once you get to this level, you may oscillate as you get to discipline and experience. You may oscillate because sometimes when you get to discipline, you will fall off the wagon. You will be able to carry something through to completion, but then a couple of times you may just fall back into your lower level of awareness. You may fall back down to the masses, because undoubtedly someone is going to say to you, why do you want to start that business? Why are you doing this? Why are you reading so many books? You've changed. You're really different now. A lot of you are going to get that type of peer pressure, and you've just got to be able to be strong within yourself, be persistent, keep your eyes on the prize, and then continue forging ahead through those different levels of awareness. So get into that mastery. You're really starting to understand the process. You've understood that you've got to build the image. You've understood that you've got to surround yourself with like-minded people who are also going to who have got belief within yourself. Your belief, your self-confidence, your self-reliance is starting to increase, and you're really now starting to be able to you're understanding that process, and you'll be able to bring things into their materialization through your thoughts, through your actions, and then through your review and respond. As you get to that, you're on that mastery level, then when a situation happens, then you're not going to react like somebody on the animal level. You're going to respond. You're going to think about it. You're going to plan, and then you're going to act. So really do get to grips with these 7 levels of awareness. Like I said, I'm going to be putting this onto, if you look down at the bottom, you're going to see a small icon, which you can then you can download this, but do download it, print it, stick it up somewhere so you can see it, and always really start to think about where you are on these 7 levels of awareness. Now, I'm just going to wish everybody, for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, then have a happy holidays. For those of you who do celebrate Christmas, have a fantastic time. Spend time with your family, with your loved ones. Give out plenty of positive energy, help other people. And I shall see you next week for what's going to be the last Freebie Friday of the year. So until then, I'm going to say the usual 3 things. Keep reading, keep studying, and above all, keep growing. I'm Rob C. Hinds.